Let's dive into the projects as well. So XR Stories, um, well, we started working with you in 2019. I think that sounds like decades ago, but it's not. It's only a couple of years, really. But if you take us back to 2019, so where were you on your journey with Full Dome at that point? And from our first project with you, what were you trying to achieve with that?
So our we first started working with XR Stories 2019. At that point, we had just finished a Design Foundations grant for Audiences of the Future, funded by Innovate UK. So we'd got funding from the first round of that, which was brilliant to explore what immersive screens are, with the view to seeing how can virtual reality be experienced outside of the headset, and to do map all the solutions in terms of collective exhibition of immersive content. So the outputs of that, of doing a test event at Glasgow Film Festival, of doing extensive research with industry partners and looking at the technology that is being used across different dome formats. And at that point, we weren't just looking at full dome. We were looking at cylinder screens. A company called Igloo Vision have brilliant cylinder screens who we worked with on that project to look at the differences between a cylinder screen and a full dome and what the requirements might be for artists to create work for those environments, and the kind mapping the kind of audience experience. The data we got from that project was really promising in terms of audience engagement with people. Most people had never experienced virtual reality before until they stepped into a dome. So the outputs of that led us to applying to create our own scratch commissions and bring some artists from who'd never worked in a dome before to a workshop day in Cardiff at Cult VR, which was brilliant, getting everyone into a dome for the first time, and commissioning some scratch performances, some really quick turnaround projects for working in the dome for the first time. Some of which are only just getting picked up again now because the premiere was meant to be uh, originally like March 2020. So obviously everything shut down and everything got delayed. And XR Stories have been really brilliant in helping us sort of pivot and making sure that these projects have a legacy in this next project that we have now very gratefully received funding for from XR Stories.
We did manage to
That's
do one live stream project during lockdown though, and that was really good. So we put DJ Yoda into the dome in Cardiff, and he did a live stream AV show. But yeah, that's the only thing that we've been able to really do with these projects in that time.
Can I explore with you a little bit around that workshop where you took artists who, you know, really thorough grounding in various kind of techniques and stuff into a dome for the first time. Tell me something about what you learned from introducing those artists. Like, what sort of potential did they see in this format?
I would say that we found that they all approached it completely differently, which was great. So we had one piece which is entirely about responsive visuals that respond to audio, to talking, which is fascinating. We had another project which is an animator who'd created this virtual world and was going to have a musician kind of performing to the animation that he'd done. And then obviously we had, as I mentioned, DJ Yoda doing his AV show, but instead of doing it on a flat screen, doing it in 360 and working with the artists at Cult VR to create visuals that worked in that way. So everybody approached it with their own niche in mind and saw their own little bit of potential for what they were doing, which just goes to prove the versatility of that kind of space, I think. The fact that everybody sees something different when they go into it and everybody sees that they can do something different, but everybody felt like there was something that they could do no matter what their background was. So that was really encouraging.